Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar, Somar with Sites. Thank you for joining today. Okay, so we'll just go through some introductions. So my name is Sam Connor. I'm part of the sales team here at Bitrix24 Gold Partners Interface. We're based in the UK, the US and Hong Kong, and we offer a full range of services to help you with Bitrix24, including pre-sale support, implementation. If you're interested in a self-hosted edition of Bitrix24, we can provide you with our hosting services, and we can provide training and ongoing dedicated support. Okay, so if you're new to Bitrix24, it's important to understand actually what Bitrix24 is. So it is a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 35 different tools that you can use for managing your business. And there are over 10 million customers around the world that now use Bitrix24 to manage their business, and that are available in two different editions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud and we have the Bitrix24 self-hosted solution. And prices start from $49 per month for a cloud-based system and $2,990 for a lifetime license. Okay, so today's webinar we're going to be focusing on the sites module. So we're going to see how we can create our own sites using the Bitrix24 sites tool. And really what's important first of all to understand are some of the reasons why you should want to use the sites module in Bitrix24. So first of all, there is no coding skills required on the system, so you can use the block functionality. So we'll see how we can use drag and drop technology to construct our sites, and no coding is required. And really useful is that you can use your own domain once you have created a site. We'll see how we can integrate different Bitrix24 tools easily into the sites, and we'll see how it's responsive and mobile friendly. And this includes SEO and traffic analytics that you can connect to your sites. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at how we can set up our own site. So first of all, we're going to choose a design and then configure this. We'll add some content to the pages and integrate some Bitrix24 widgets. And then we'll have a look at how we can view this within different applications such as the mobile app, a widget on your websites, and also on the desktop app as well. And then we'll see how we can connect to different analytic platforms such as Google Analytics. Okay, so let's just check in on this. So let's now go back into our Bitrix24 system. And the area we want to go to be able to create our own sites is what we call the sites module here on the left hand side. This is available on both the Bitrix24 Cloud and self-hosted system. So let's click into the sites area. And then once we're in the site, first of all, what you're going to see are any other sites that you have already created in your Bitrix24 system. We'll be able to see the status, so if they're published or not. But let's say we want to create a brand new site. What we can do is we can go onto the Create a Site button. And what this is now going to do is it's going to open up all of the different design choices that we have to select from for creating our site. Okay, so here we can see all of the different designs. So Bitrix offers a wide range of pre-configured designs to choose from, and this includes a range of industry sectors from web designs to real estate agencies. So there's a huge variety of industries we can select from, and you can even start completely from scratch and build your own site as well if you'd like to. And one thing to mention, there are also seasonal features into here as well. So you can see here we've got an April Fool's Day site design, so we've just had April Fools for example, and if say we're around the Halloween time, we can see some Halloween designs and so on. Okay, so let's now select, let's go for this delivery service design. So if you're a delivery service provider, you might select this design to work on. Okay, so we're just going to add this onto our site. So we're just importing this design. If you do have any questions as we go through today's webinar, please do add them into the question box in YouTube, and we can run through those questions during the intervals of today's webinar. Okay, so now that has opened up the design, so first of all, what we should configure are the essential settings of the website. So in the top menu, what we want to do is click on the site settings. Okay, so inside here, for example, what we can do is we can go into, first of all, go into the site settings, because this is where we can then configure the key settings for our site. So if we go into the site settings area, then what we can do first of all is we can add our website address. So this is the site address. So every time you create a new site on the Bitrix24 platform, it will come up with a uniquely registered address now for you to use. But what you can do is you can add your own domain as well. So that's a really useful feature. What we would say though is you should only add your own domain once you have completely set up your site. So this is really useful because you can just, as you're completing the design, maybe testing it, continue with the site address that Bitrix has provided, but then we can then go into here and use and add our own domain. We can add our own website widgets. So inside here, we're going to look later on at how you can build your own widgets and connect these to your site. So if I just quickly show you on another site that we've already built, we've got our website form here, and we've also got some live chat tools to communicate with people. So those are different types of widgets we can add to the sites. We can choose the color, so now I want to select the type of color that we have for the widgets. We can also then set up integrations, so let's say I might want to connect with Google Analytics, so I can integrate here with my Google Tag Manager and enter my Google ID to integrate with Google Analytics. It's simply a case of applying the UA code. Okay, so that's a look there at the site settings. But then what we also want to do is configure the individual page settings for the system as well. So because you can build multi-page websites, this means you can apply different settings to each individual page. And this really, it is essential for your website's search engine optimization configuration. So if we go into the page settings, what we can now do in here is we can set up the meta tags for this specific page. So we can add the titles, descriptions, and any other keywords that we want to add to this particular page. So I can see how this is now going to display on our search engines, such as Google. Okay, so once we've got configured the site settings and we've also done the page settings, now we can start to go through and design the page. So if you have chosen a pre-configured design, then you will already see a range of blocks that have been installed for you. So this is what we can see here. So you can see here different blocks. So these are different elements of the page. So if you want to add new blocks into here, all you have to do is click on the Add Block button. So I can click on there, and this will show then the different types of existing blocks here that I can select from to add into my page. So let's say, for example, we've got a new service that we're going to be offering to people. Maybe I want to add a countdown, for example. So I can choose the countdown block, and then I'm going to add this into this specific area. And then what I can do is I can configure the actual functionality of that block. So let's choose the end date for the event, for example. So we want to count down from there. And then I'm going to change the actual title as well. Okay, so let's now save that information. And you can see that's now updated that particular block. So that's how simple it is to start designing your own sites in the system or reconfiguring the sites. It's using block technology. You're then editing that particular block in the system. And that's it. There is no coding skills required for this. I can change, for example, if I go into here, I might now also want to add some images, let's say, for example. So I can come back into here and I'm going to select this particular block. I'm going to add this underneath here. But now I want to edit the actual images that are being displayed, for example. So let's go into here and start editing the images. Okay, we'll just go back from there. Okay, so that's up there how we can configure our design and blocks. But let's say if I wanted to move this up and down as well, I can move this block up and down like so. So it is really easy to start setting up and designing your own pages. And let's just go into our other area here. We can see some designs that we have created using the sites module. So here we've got a cake shop website, so we can see all of the different products we've got on offer. We've got some widgets connected here, so we can submit information on this form and it will automatically feed back into your Bitrix24 system. And we've also got a live chat system set up, so if we had a question from one of the customers on this page, they could ask their question in the live chat window here and we could respond to that from our system. So it's really useful to be able to connect to your customers using these tools. And here is another type of page. So we can see using the same functionality in terms of the block technology, but inside here the form's in a different area, and we've also got another type of widget set up, and we've got different colors that we've used on this particular landing page. Okay, so one of the key differences as well, we've mentioned how you can create multi-page sites. So this site here that we're looking at is a single page site. But say if we go back to our cake shop site, I can click on the inquiry section and that will open up a brand new page on this particular site. So that's the key difference there. We can create a single page site or you can create multiple. And we've also got our live chat system set up. So if I had a question, so you can see now that's come into here as a new live chat. So when your customers have questions, they can seamlessly talk to you using the sites module and the Bitrix24 system. Okay, so we've just responded to that question and you can see that's now fed back through into the live chat system. So you've got that easy communication channel with any potential customers, and that could be critical for you being able to provide a professional service and being able to close more sales with your customer base. So you can start to see now how lots of the different features we're talking about within the sites module can connect inside the Bitrix24 system. Okay, so once we look there at the different types of sites we can create, once we've added all of the design in the events section here for the new delivery service that we're going to be offering, then what we can do is we can see how this will look on different displays. So if we go into here, for example, what we can do is we can go into the page settings. Okay, and then what you can do from here is you can change the color theme. So for example, if we go back into our site here, we can see the widget here is a blue color. You can configure the design of that, so you can change. Okay, so we can see how that looks here. I think the new delivery service countdown looks really good there at the top of the page. So that's how easy it is to construct your site using the Bitrix24 sites module. One thing to point out, once your DNS is pointed, then you can click publish. So this is just a preview link. Once you have pointed the DNS record, then you can publish the site. Okay, so that's a look there at how we can create a site in the Bitrix24 sites module. Let's just see if we've got any questions. Okay, so a question here is the sites feature available on both cloud and self-hosted systems? So yes, it is. So you will just have to check on the cloud system. There could be limitations based on the type of license that you have for how many sites you can create. With the self-hosted edition, you can create as many sites as you require. Okay, and if there are any other questions, please do continue to add those into the question box on YouTube, and we'll go through those during the intervals. Okay, so the next section we're going to look at today is actually how we can use the site's functionality to create actually online stores. So rather than just being a place where you can show information to people, you could actually set up your own e-commerce online store where people can purchase products and you can receive those payments. So if we just go back into our Bitrix24 system, and what we're going to do here is we're going to go into our online store. So if we go into here, we can see all of our areas for stores. So this is under the sites and stores section. And what we can see here are all of the current online stores that we have within our Bitrix24 system. Now, very similar to how we created a site earlier on, if you wanted to create a new online store, what you would do is click on the Create Online Store button. And this will then open up the different templates that you can use for designing your store. So it's what this looks like in some more detail. Okay, so you can see the store settings exactly the same in terms of the domain, so online store. So just like we saw earlier on how you can have multi-page sites, you can have multi-pages on your online store as well. All of the different products that we are storing inside the system, and I can add more products into the system here. Okay, and if we go into the settings, inside here we can see all of the details about this product, and we can add different attributes for those products. And now what's also important to do as well is to add your payment systems. So it's really important that you have connected your payment gateways so customers can purchase through your online store. So first of all, we can set up integration with PayPal or Stripe, like we can see here. If you're wanting to set up a new payment system, if you click on the new payment system here, then you can add your parameters to enable your payment providers. And once you've done that, so once you've added products, once you've added your payment systems, you can then start to see orders coming into your online store here. And this is really useful because it uses a lot of the functionality that we have within the CRM system. So if you use the Bitrix CRM system, you'll see this looks fairly similar to what you use in the CRM. So first of all, here we can see all the stages that we are progressing our orders through. Now you can create as many stages inside here as you require. So it's completely customizable to what you actually want to use inside your ordering process. So let's just say we're going to continue with the order accepted and paid preparing shipment. So when an order is actually completed on our online store, this will be fed into here. And I can then see all of the details about that order inside the system. And what we can do is we go through these different stages is we can set up different automations. So if we just go into look at those stages inside here, what you're able to do is at different stages we can set up different automations. So it could be, for example, once we move to the paid preparing for shipment stage, we could automatically send out an automated email to the customer thanking them for their payment and then sending out some more communications to them. So using these stages is really useful because it essentially allows you to completely streamline your ordering process and also what communications you have with your customers at different sections of that ordering process. And we can also filter through this section as well. So let's say I want to look at all of the completed orders or all of those that are currently in progress. We can see all of those inside the system like so. Okay, so that's a look there at how we can use the online store. So it uses the site's technology, but within the online stores we can add products and integrate payment providers to be able to receive payments inside the system. Okay, so let's just check if we've got any further questions that we can help with. Okay, so no questions right now, but please do add them into the question box if you do have any, and we can run through those before the end of today's webinar. Okay, so now we're going to look at how we can, once we build out our sites, we want to be able to connect with those customers who are entering our site. And this is really where the sites engine becomes really powerful within Bitrix24, because we can connect our sites with different areas of the Bitrix24 system. And one of those key areas is the CRM system. So let's just go, before we have a look at this in Bitrix24, I just want to go back to that landing page site that we had created earlier on, because we saw how we could use the live chat feature to instantly communicate with a colleague who can answer our questions. Or what we could also do is we could submit our details on this form, and that could then automatically create a new lead inside the Bitrix24 CRM system. So we can automate communications using what we call are these widgets. Okay, so let's see how now we can actually create our own widgets inside the Bitrix24 system. Okay, so let's go into the CRM system. We're just going to click on More here, and then what we're going to go is to the website widget section. Okay, and so inside here what we can now do is create our new widgets. Okay, so first of all what we're going to do is create a new live chat system. So inside here, this is where we can configure all the settings for essentially setting up that live chat system. So first of all, we can choose where we want that live chat to display on the website. Usually it's in the bottom right hand corner, but obviously you can decide that. We can then also set up who is dealing with those live chat requests. So when a new message comes in from a potential customer, you need to decide who you want those conversations to be routed to. So if we go into our settings area, we can see here we've got an agent queue. So inside here I can select who I want those conversations to actually be sent to for someone to respond from our team. And then you can choose how these are distributed amongst people. We can set up the work time settings. We can also set up auto action, so you might want to have canned responses that people can use, for example. So there's lots of different settings we can then configure. And once you've created the widget, if you're applying this widget to a site you have created within Bitrix24, then you'll be able to select it from the drop-down options that we looked at earlier on. Or if you're going to be using this on a site you've not yet created inside the system, then what we can do is we can actually take out the code on this widget, and then I can add this onto our sites. Okay, so you can take the code and embed this onto your own website, which is not part of Bitrix. And it's exactly the same for web forms as well. So you can create the forms inside Bitrix24 using the form designer tool. And then once you've done this, then again, if you're creating a site within Bitrix24, you'll be able to select it from the website widgets and add that directly to your sites. Or we can take the embedding code from the form and embed that code onto your external site so the form can be displayed on your site. So inside here, we can add different fields that we want to display on our form. You can select what's mandatory, etc. We can then choose the different agreements and terminologies on the form. So you might want to have certain headers with information, for example. You might want some subtitles. Okay, so there's lots of different settings we can configure on our web form. We can choose who's going to be responsible for dealing with this form when it comes into the system. And once we've done this, then what we can do is we can decide actually what embedding option we want to use. So here we can see the code that we've got, so I can take that code and embed that onto the website, or I can use different options such as a timer or a button, or if we are using a site within Bitrix24, I can simply select that form from the widget options. So that's exactly how we've done this here for the website form and for the live chat widget inside here. And what's really useful, once we have set this up, let's say for example if a form was submitted on this web page, what we can do is we can have that automatically added into our Bitrix system as a new lead. So rather than having that going to, let's say, into a mailbox where you have to deal with it, it can automatically come into here as a new lead inside the system. And then what we can do is we can set up automation rules. So as soon as that lead comes into here, it will come into the new lead stage. What we can do is we could send out an automated communication to them, inquiry. And what we could then also do is maybe create a task for the responsible person. So that could automatically be sent to a responsible person in your Bitrix24 system. And we could set a deadline for when that task has to be completed. So we can set time parameters on those tasks to make sure our sales team are getting back to those potential customers in a timely manner. So using those integrations, so adding those widgets to your sites, it then allows you to get all of the information from the form or from the live chat across to your Bitrix24 system. And then we can use these automation tools to streamline that inquiry process with your customers. And then from here what we can do is we can filter through any of this information, and you can change the structure of this table, and that can then be exported out of the system. So if you want to report on this information, you can do. And if we go back into our contact center area, if you're setting up the live chat system, what we can then do is set up statistics. So we can see all of the statistics on the conversations that we've had with our customers. So from here we can see the average reply time. We can see how often those live chats are actually taking place. So you can see essentially when you need to be allocating staff, because we can see when we are busiest within each working day. So this is really useful if you're needing to manage staff across your system. We can use these reporting tools to really drill down into the activities from our sites. Okay, so let's just check if we've got any questions. Okay, so no further questions. If there are any questions before next week's webinar, please do add them to our email address, which is sales@interface.com, and we'll be able to get back to you to answer any questions. But in summary today, we've looked at how we can create very simple, easy to set up sites using the sites module, and using lots of different designs that you can use to really help you get that system set up really quickly. A key feature we've seen is how we can fully integrate this with Bitrix24 using widgets such as website forms and live chat channels. And this should help to improve your conversion rates because you're able to deal with customer requests in a really timely manner and improve customer loyalty. Okay, so here are a selection of up and coming webinars. So we're here at 11 AM Eastern Time every Tuesday. If you do have any questions in the meantime, please do contact sales@interface.com and we'll be happy to set up a meeting with you. I just want to thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to joining you on next week's Bitrix24 webinar. Bye for now.